This is me, in the middle of a brand new survival world on an island I've decided to call home, with only a set of iron gear to my name. I'm also absolutely terrified, because I know over the next few days I'm going to embark on one of the biggest projects I've ever attempted in survival Minecraft. When I said I was going to call this island home, I meant that in the most literal way possible. I'm going to terraform this entire island into a mega dirt house. There's just one problem. I am terrible at survival Minecraft. For the sheer amount of dirt I realised I was going to need for this project, iron just wasn't going to cut it. I was going to need the blue stuff. It was time for me to brave the new 1.18 caves.
I didn't realise how terrifying and dark these caves are. Why did they make Minecraft into a horror movie? But then I saw it, my first set of diamonds, and I was hooked. No matter how scary these caves were, I wanted more. And then I saw them, my second set of diamonds, and so quickly after I saw the last ones as well. But little did I know, these would be the most protected diamonds in Minecraft history. Hordes of zombies, skeletons and creepers came to attack me to protect their treasure. They may have had the advantage of numbers, but I was armed with something that they were not. Rain, and I realised that one of their ranks was going to betray them. I used a creeper to blow up the horde and clean up the ones that remained. The diamonds had been viciously protected, but I was the one that walked away with the prize. But then something terrible happened. I had run out of food. The only source of food I had left down in the mines were the zombies. They had turned from my adversaries to my lunch as I feasted on their flesh to replenish my health. Pushing forwards in the mines, I knew it would be much harder without a proper food source, but I managed to claim myself 3 more ore veins of diamond. But then, my shield broke. I was cornered against a lava pool. With no shield and multiple enemies approaching, I had to escape the mines before they managed to kill me. But then, across the lava, I saw something. Another ore vein of diamonds, and greed took over. I had to get those diamonds. But my greed nearly cost me my life. I was knocked down to half a heart by a spider and had to swim up a water stream to heal. There was only one thing for it. I couldn't fight the enemies without any food or a shield. I jumped down, towered up, and seeing there was no skeletons, bridged across the lava. The taste of some extra diamonds was sweet, but it made me realise I had to escape this place. That had been too close. I rushed through the cave, desperately trying to find an exit, but skeletons started to pursue me until I was knocked off the edge of a cliff. Was this it? Was this how my mining adventure was going to end? No, because I saw it, a one wide stream of water, and I managed to land in it! I'm not good at Minecraft! That was the best thing I've ever done! But there was no way I was going back up there to fight those skeletons. I would have to staircase out. I was so close to the surface, I could taste it, but then my pickaxe broke. But I wasn't one to be defeated by a little bit of stone, and it felt the wrath of my fists as I punched my way to the surface. My mining adventure had been a success! And the first foe to fall to my newfound might was zombie me. But luckily, if there's one thing I'm good at, it's dying, so they fell pretty quickly. The night was dark and stormy, a fitting background for what I was about to do. I was gathering what I needed to open the portal. 1 minute. I was gathering what I needed to open the portal to hell. Never mind, it's daytime. I can't do it in the day. There we go. I began the ritual, and then the portal to hell was open. I stepped through, and to my amazement, the fortress was right there. This was so lucky. The fortress supplied me with a nice amount of gold, which was good because I was going to need that later. But what I was really here for was the blaze, and for some reason I was really unlucky. It took ages to get all the blaze rods that I needed. But once the blaze had been forcibly separated from their precious rods, I set off to find some piglins, because I would need some ender pearls. Again, it took ages for these guys to give me any ender pearls, and I even had to go off and mine more gold. But I had everything I needed from the Nether now, and I could finally leave that horrible place. I had travelled many miles to get here, the stronghold, and I had found the portal. I set my spawn, and after a few technical difficulties, I put all of the Eyes of Ender into the portal. The end looks absolutely amazing with these shaders. Oh no, don't look at the Enderman. Don't look at the Enderman. Look down, look down. I got straight to work destroying the pillars, and the dragon knocked me up in the air, but I had trained for this moment in the caves, and I managed to land the MLG. Once all the pillars were destroyed, the dragon was clearly angry since it knocked me off the top of the obsidian pillar, and I managed to land again. All that was left for me to attack the dragon with my bow, my axe, and some beds that I brought along that spread fire absolutely everywhere. Don't think I managed to land every MLG though. I had certainly died a fair few times, but it didn't matter because the dragon was so weak. Until in my carelessness, I looked at an Enderman and I wasn't ready for it. I died in the bedrock centerpiece on top of a block of fire. Please let my stuff still all be there. But no, all that was left was some trousers, a bow, but no arrows, and a few blocks and a water bucket. For a moment, I thought maybe it's time to give up, but no, the dragon was so low, surely I could punch it to death. And so I waited for the dragon to perch, and then it was my time to strike. I had already showed the fury of my fists when caving, and now I was hoping it would be enough to kill the dragon. But no matter how hard I tried, it just wouldn't work. The dragon had too much health just to punch it to death. I respawned almost ready to give up. I didn't have any weapons strong enough to kill the dragon. But then, remembered. My spawn point, my bed, was strong enough to kill the dragon. I would only have one chance, one life to do this. I had to be careful. If I was killed now, I would be back at square one, and it would all have been for nothing. I couldn't get hit by any of the dragon's attacks. And finally, the dragon started to come into perch. This was my chance. I got into position, placed down the bed, and the dragon was defeated, and I was still alive. My bed was gone and I had lost everything. But I was still in the end, and I was still alive. I needed to get an elytra or I wouldn't have a hope of finishing or even starting this project. I turned the blocks that I had left into slabs to make them go further and set off into the outer end. I had chorus fruits for food, and the blocks would hopefully get me far enough that I could get to an end city that had a pickaxe. And I was in luck, because there was an end city right there. I used my water bucket to scale the wall so I didn't have to encounter any shulkers, and then there was a diamond pickaxe in one of the chests that would get me enough endstone to keep going. I bridged for ages without finding any cities, and the cities that I did find didn't have any ships. Heck, one of them didn't have anything. Until finally I did manage to find a city that had a ship. I claimed the elytra, stashed it away in an ender chest before sacrificing myself to the void to return home. To start off building, I decided to unbuild by obliterating every tree on the island. Then I flew over to obliterate the local plains biome to provide me with some grass to start this project. I started building and all of the grass was immediately used up. I did not realise the sheer amount of dirt and grass I would need to start this project. I mean, I knew it'd be a lot, but not that much. And the base itself is going to end up reaching halfway to build height, so that's going to be a lot of materials. There was also the matter of needing rooted dirt and coarse dirt, so I had to go and gather a bunch of gravel and raid a bunch of azalea trees. And finally, after gathering loads of materials, I could start working on the base of the base. 6 hours of grueling dirt placement later, and this is what I'm left with. It doesn't look like much, but this was the most intensive part of the build to make since it's spread out across most of the island. We're also going to have some stone features for the more vertical parts of the base. Now this will really help to make this base look like it's been carved out of a massive mountain. For one of the parts of the building, I took quite a lot of inspiration from Greek architecture, with this bit being based off the Parthenon, which you can see coming together now with these pillars of stone which are going to hold up the roof. The building is made as a sort of wedding cake-like design. It's got tiers to it. So once I've finished the bottom tier walls, I need to make the roofs of the bottom tier, because the second tier is kind of resting on top of the roofs of the bottom tier. Now for the roofs, I need green wool. So, this became my life for about a few, it might have been a few hours, maybe even days, I can't remember, please help. Now, once the second tier is made, this is where the dying begins, because this is now so tall that falling off it means immediate death to fall damage. And as I said, I'm terrible at Minecraft, and I'm very prone to falling off buildings like these. Finally, I build up the walls of the massive tower and finish the roof, and that means the shell of the building is done, and it looks amazing. But now I need to light up the entire building, which takes so many torches, and it's also really deadly, especially on the inside, where there's already a bunch of creepers that are threatening to absolutely destroy all of my progress. I also want to make these 2 streams going down either side of the building, one of which is going to drain into a pond and then become 2 streams going down to the river surrounding the island, and another which is just going to go straight into the river, and I think they look great too. I then need to place in all of the trees since I removed all of them from the island, and then finally do the clock tower, and this build is finished! This has been such an amazing project to do, from deciding to build a little starter base that ended up being an enormous mega base. I think I can now say I am the owner of the cheapest mega base in Minecraft, consisting of 2,000 rooted dirt blocks, 2,000 green wool, 2,000 coarse dirt, 3,000 moss, 3,500 stone, 6,500 grass, and 7,000 blocks of dirt. This is definitely the cheapest mega base in Minecraft. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye! Gonna do the interior? Probably not. Maybe another time. Yeah, maybe. I'll do it someday.